first Sunday assembly I went to, I heard this, so it's quite special for me too. Okay, it's called Day Release. I went to Sunday assembly one Sunday and found nobody there. There was no pumping music, no beard, no hug, no chairs. No friendly word of welcome, no smile as I arrived, no pen to check my name off, no tunnel of high fives. The wooden floor was gleaming as I walked in on my own. I dragged one chair to the middle of this hall and sat on it alone. I looked at the time on my iPhone. Was I early? Was I late? No, the time was exactly 10:59, so it seemed I'd have to wait. A shaft of golden sunlight sloped across the floor. Any moment now I knew you'd all come pouring through the door. But people, nothing happened. Not a soul came in. There was no band, no choir, no jokes, no slides, no dance breaks, and no din. I thought about my options. I could go straight back home to bed, or I could do what I decided to do, create the assembly in my head. I thought about my options. Oh, no, just read that. At the point where Sanderson would have cried for all the world to hear, "Who's in the mood to celebrate being alive?" I gave the biggest cheer, but that cheer was a strangely lonely sound when it only reached my ear. I tried to laugh quite loudly where I thought the gags would come, and I stroked my chin when the absent speaker's wisdom struck me dumb. I stood and sang some pop songs in a quiet kind of way, and imagined dance breaks. I dad danced all the way. I chortled with nostalgia where the PowerPoint used to go wrong, but still got my lyrics muddled in the silence of no song. It was all somehow in a minor key without Pippa or Emma or Fliss, and the bit where the vocals came back in, well, that's quite easy to miss. At the poetry bit, I scratched my head and sighed and looked all clever, and kept on trying to listen. Guys, that slot felt like forever. But with no playgroup at the front and no toddler to be seen, the moment of reflection was the best it's ever been. And when the imaginary collection bag was passed into my hands, I put 2 imaginary 50s in and felt my soul expand. At midday, I applauded and glanced toward the door, but assemblies tend to overrun, and I sat on some more. At 12:15, I sadly dragged my chair back to the side and went in search of tea and cake, and that is when I cried. There was no tea, there was no cake, there was no general hubbub, no shouty chatter to be had, no mass move to the pub. My friends, the pearl had floated free. This hall was just a shell, filled with ghosts and echoes. I wasn't feeling well. I put my coat on, left this place, and went towards the bus. My shoulders drooped, my head hung low. The dream had turned to dust. Had I just imagined it? Was it ever there? Was this oasis in life's desert just a castle in the air? The 100 Facebook posts each day from Ian Joliet. The friendly potluck dinners. But wait, hang on a bit. If I was doing this properly, I should stop off at the pub for a strictly social pint or two and some gourmet Wetherspoons grub. Private joke. So I diverted to the Pendle's Oak for a consoling pint of ale. The first pint didn't do the trick, but the second never fails. It was then I glanced down at my watch and realized my look. It was the second Sunday of the month. Duh, what a stupid, foolish person. All that tragic posturing, all my deep despair. I'd got the blooming Sunday wrong. I punched the beery air. Time for a celebration drink. I sank pints 3 and 4. I was up to 5 or 6, I think, but still I yelled for more. I hugged a dozen strangers. I thanked God, who's not above. I sang 500 miles at the top of my lungs. I was full of bloody love. I started kissing people, got too close to someone's dog. And then somebody punched me, and the next bit's all a fog. Until I heard the sirens and saw the police come in, and I couldn't really stand up straight, and the room was in a spin. I gave a policeman a high five just as the brawl disbanded, but I didn't judge the distance right, and my friendliness mislanded. And that is how I got 6 months for disturbing civic quiet, for being drunk, disorderly, and incitement of a riot. Well, that was 14 weeks ago. I'm here on day release. The screws are just out there for me with a couple of police. They knew today was special. Sunday Assembly needed me. So they brought me here in a big black van, but that doesn't mean I'm free. So I'll miss a few assemblies, but I'll be with you in my heart. And I've started one in prison, and I do the Sanderson part. We've got some speakers coming up on interesting themes. Living better in a cell, robbing banks in teams. Slopping out for others, wondering at gruel. Helping yourself more often to money, drugs, and jewels. It's not the easiest life inside, but I don't really care. Because however tough the days are there, I know that you're all here. Filling up our Conway Hall with joyous, teeming life, banding close together to fight each worry and all strife. I'll soon sing with you and dance with you and share life's cosmic joke. And if they'll let me in again, I'll join you in the oak. That's the pub. Please look after all of this for us. It's an absolute huge deal, and I wouldn't want to come back out and find it gone for real. We must strengthen it for all our sakes and for the next generation's youth. And that is down to us, dear friends. It's not all down to Ruth. So let's stand and raise an imaginary glass to Pippa and to Sanderson and make the future happen now for Sunday Assembly, London and International. To Sunday Assembly, London and International.